And do you want to read it? They're my words, but do you want to read it or I do?
I think you should still read it.
Okay. Okay, I will read in light. This is I try to put in places where I would ad lib because I know I do that. But so
And
that
this is me, right?
yes, that's you. I left all the pictures in.
You got a good printer.
Well, that's the church printer.
No, they might have owned this.
Okay, and so then you're doing that, and then I'll do the Psalm 23, unless you
Yep.
want to do it.
Yep.
No,
Well,
okay, I'll do it.
keep
Okay.
Because I practiced everything. So.
Yes. Okay, and then I'll do sermon. Right. We're still going sermon, then stewardship. Right. Oh, I got my ad lib in there. I had stuff to say. All right. Okay. That's there. Okay. So let's see. 7. I don't know. Put in about the points that is in. Because I just went up to Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving.
Where's the point? Good morning, everyone. My name is Colette Cordova. Can you hear me?
Not very well.
How about now? Okay. Again, my name is Colette Cordova. I want to welcome you to the First Unitarian Church of Toledo. At the beginning of the service, before we get into sacred mode, we give you a pretty long list of announcements, and we want you to know that we're still emerging from the pandemic, isolation, and there's a lot that the Unitarian congregation still does. So please be a part of our church on Sundays and throughout the week. Most of you know that we're between music directors, and until we find a new musician to join our staff, we'll be having recorded music some Sundays and guest musicians when we can arrange it. Today, our own Skylar Ratey is here to play the organ. If you know church musicians who might be possibilities for Unitarians, music director, please make them aware that we're searching. Music isn't the only category for our Sunday service needs. Are you interested in how to make television? We need tech and production crew members, and no experience is necessary. Our loyal production lead, Walter McGee, will provide training. It's not heavy lifting. You get to learn new skills, and other volunteers are nice. Perhaps help us to provide our live streams. And one more call for Sunday volunteers. Would you like to be a service associate up here like me this week, helping the service to happen by assisting the minister and giving the welcome, sometimes readings, and sometimes other assistance? Please contact our office or Reverend Tim. The more people signed up, the better variety or Sunday service can have. If you'd like an assisted listening device to help with hearing our public address system this service, we're now broadcasting on FM 90.7, and we have a couple of small radios and headphones available. We're still trying to develop better ways for assisted listening. If you want to try the system out or have suggestions, please let Reverend Tim know. The First Unitarian Holiday Bazaar will be held December 3rd from 9 to 4:30, December 4th from 12 to 3. If you'd like to volunteer to help or donate much-needed supplies, please use the Sign Up Genius in the FYI or the order service. There's still a couple of tables available to rent if you are a crafter or know someone who is. Contact Carla Logan Mercer with questions or use our uutoledo.org.website WUFU contact form to express interest. Please remember to sign up for our Christmas family tree giving. Contact Luann Bilstein or Carol Kierlieber with questions. Sunday, December 5th is the last day to donate. And not for funds, just for fun, we're having a friendship giving again this year on Saturday, November 26th. And Fellowship Hall, you're invited to the potluck. Look in your order service for Sign Up Genius link or contact the church. Remote viewers will be working on making all these links available to more easily for now. The way might be to join our Facebook private group. Thank you.
On our hearts, in our minds, and with our spirits today. The challenge of a lifetime is deciding what is important and devoting your life energy to it. Yet, we fear mostly what will change in the next election. We are concerned about voting and voting suppression. And yet our lifetimes are relatively short in contrast to the rise and fall of civilizations and empires. We tend to focus on just our state or city, just our country. Yet right in our communities, we can make the choices and implement the policies that lean toward mercy, justice, and compassion. Right here, we can empathize with each other. In a faith that is free, we can seek and listen to differences. Just be present. Open yourselves, listen, and seek to understand. We can be a source of presence and affirmation that is needed in the world.
For our opening words, Reverend Shari Woodbury seeks to create pathways for transforming power to love, to work in individual lives and congregations and beyond. She is currently the settled minister at First Unitarian Church of Omaha. Here we are in our circle again, a circle of vision and reflection, a forum for deciding and empowering. Here we are at the base of another bridge, another space spanning the shores of today and tomorrow, beckoning us to cross the chasm, one day at a time. Here we are gathered again at the cusp of the future, at the boundary that holds community together. We are here in a circle of love and trust, brought to this moment by a series of choices and promises, by hope and gratitude, by our shadows faced and befriended. With the servant's head and leaders listening and parents' love, truer than all our inner trembling, let us model the health we seek for all and lean into community. Somewhere out there, all we dream is possible. Somewhere in here, we are sowing the seeds.
For our chalice lighting, neutral common ground. When fire meets water, more earth is created. This can become a common ground from which new seeds can be sown. We struggle with love and reason. We remember the past in order to build the future. We are always in the process of living into what it means to be community, with all who choose this free faith. Some of us are guilty of mistakes, but all of us are mutually responsible. Our harvest comes from the faithful struggle and cultivation of and for a free faith.
And now for a covenant. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
And now for our opening hymn, number 159, This Is My Song. Please rise as you're willing and able, if you want. 159.
Good morning. Good morning. I would like to start by inviting everybody who is young or feels especially young today to join me up front for the story time. Who knows what we have here? The Wonder Box. Everybody say ooh. Everybody say ah. All right, I need a third hand. Who wants to come open the Wonder Box? It is not spring-loaded with snakes. Tish, you'll open it. Open her up and tell us what you see. Pick it up and look at it. Who knows what it is? Thank you.
It's a child's birthday.
Close. Turn it around so.
Is it the child's birthday?
It is not that. Who knows what it is? Menorah.
Lenora?
A menorah. Who knows what a menorah is? Can I have?
Nobody never told me that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what we're here for. A menorah is used at Hanukkah by Jewish people. So we are going to tell a true story that comes from Billings, Montana. This happened in the early 80s. You know how sometimes people can pick on and attack other people who are different from them. This started happening in a small town in Montana. There was a group of people who decided they wanted to pick on the people in town who were Jewish. They started out just by whispering mean words. Then they started passing out hateful pamphlets. They damaged headstones in a Jewish cemetery in town. And finally, one Hanukkah, they threw a brick through the window of a Jewish family's living room. The mom of this family went to the police, and the police wanted to help, but nobody saw who had thrown the brick, and they couldn't take fingerprints off of it, so there wasn't much they could do. The police told the mom, maybe it would be a good idea for your family to take down your menorah so that nobody can see that you're Jewish. The story of this crime, the brick through the window, was printed in the newspaper. This story was read by a woman who happened to work for a bunch of the churches in Billings. She got them together when they wanted to coordinate their efforts. And she talked to a bunch of ministers that she knew, and she said, instead of asking Jewish families to take their menorahs down, what if a bunch of non-Jewish people put menorahs up? And that's what they did. The churches in town printed out 300 paper menorahs, and people put them in their living room windows. And a Catholic school in the town changed their light up sign to say, Happy Hanukkah to our Jewish friends. Very nice of the Catholic high school. The vandals and criminals who were doing these things got mad. They threw rocks through the windows of the Catholic school. They damaged the cars that were in the driveways of the houses that had the paper menorahs. And they broke windows and glass doors in the churches that were hanging the paper menorahs. So at this point, the non-Jewish allies had a choice. They could say, look, this is not our fight. This is far too risky. We're not going to do anything more. We're done with this. Or they could stand strong and defend their Jewish neighbors. And that is what they did. The churches in the town distributed 6,000 more paper menorahs. They hung them in schools, in offices, in restaurants, in car windows, in churches, all over town. At this point, the criminals knew that they couldn't intimidate and scare the entire town, and the hate crimes came to an end. But what if only the Jewish people had fought back? It was already obvious that the criminals didn't care what they thought, didn't care what the Jewish people thought, and felt that they could intimidate such a small group of people. But now everyone had menorahs. So if these crimes had continued, The criminals ran a much higher risk of getting caught. If they attacked one of the thousands of places that had menorahs in the windows, they might find that they had thrown a rock through the window of their boss, or their friend, or their sister. Maybe most importantly, they knew that if they got caught, the entire town would be mad at them and would think that they were terrible people. This is why it's important to stand up for people who are different from you. White people need to stand up to racism. Cis people need to stand up for trans people. Boys and girls need to stand up for each other. Adults need to stand up for kids. The rich and powerful need to stand up for the poor. And because we here are Unitarian Universalists, we are compelled to stick up for anybody who is being treated unfairly.
We're just overjoyed having Skylar Rady here. That's warranted. He's one of our UU kids, young adult, excuse me. I want to invite you into a moment of meditation, contemplation, and prayer. Please feel your body in your seat. You can make your eyes have a soft gaze. Take a deep breath and release your body to be held. And with your eyes closed, keep breathing deeply. May the meditations of my heart and the words from my mouth be acceptable. We have a lot of concerns in our congregation. A lot of folks are having health issues, and I want to lift up some names. We are thinking about Bernie Spiegel, Kathy Crowther, who fell. She's had surgery on her knee at St. Anne's Hospital, and she is at home recovering. Sue Childers, we're concerned about her health, possible pancreatitis. And of course, we are still in a pandemic. So we are concerned about those of us who are still at risk. And we are breathing gratitude into being here with each other. An affirmation of practicing this free faith. We're so grateful for Skylar Rady, for Colette Cordova, Connie Christensen. We are grateful for all of the folks who are putting our worship service together. Let our minds and hearts be open to receive, and our hands be ready to do the work. So be it. We will have a moment of silence before our reading.
It's Hard Work by Rosemary Bratt McNatt. People stand linked arms at a nighttime protest. For just as the body without spirit is dead, faith is also dead. Faith without works is also dead. James 2:26. Why are we still talking about inclusivity and diversity when we have done so little to make them real? Why are we still looking pained about the lack of diversity in the denomination? Because diversity, inclusivity is terribly hard, terribly uncomfortable, definitely unsettling, and often quite frustrating. What I know about being inclusive, crossing from culture to culture, learning the language of diversity, is that it's work of a lifetime. It's hard to accept people who are not like you, who don't talk the way you do, or believe the things you believe, or dress or vote as you do. It's even harder to appreciate them for things about them that are not like you, to find them interesting and fun, to enjoy learning. That's part of the experience, and to acknowledge finally that you may have to agree to disagree. The truth is, if there is no justice, there will be no peace. We read Thoreau, Emerson to one another, quote Wilkie, Alice Walker, and Howard Thurman, and think good and noble thoughts about ourselves. But if we cannot bring justice into the small circle of our own individual lives, we cannot hope to bring justice to the world. And if we do not bring justice to the world, none of us is safe, and none of us will survive. Nothing that Unitarian Universalists need to do is more important than making justice real. Here, where we are, hard as diversity is, it is our most important task.
Psalm 23. Alongside Babylon's streams, there we sat down, crying, because we remembered Zion. We hung our lyres up in the trees there because that's where our captors asked us to sing a song. Our tormentors requested songs of joy. Sing us a song about Zion, they said. But how could we possibly sing the Lord's song on foreign soil? I am grateful to be here today. Thank you so much for having me. I always start off with gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But I'm not exceptional. We are not exceptional. We are beings who are living together in circumstances derived from generational patterns before us. Still, I am hoping that we can apply our imaginations in ways that show that we can have mercy, justice, and compassion, not only in our congregation, but also outside these walls in this compassionate region of Northwest Ohio. Now, could that be the challenge of a lifetime? I say that I am not exceptional, and neither are any of us exceptional. We are people who come together to be present with each other. As the world turns, our children have turned into young adults, and our hair gets grayer, and the inches that were here are now on our waistline. We are finite beings. We are born, live, and we die. We are religious in that we intentionally promise to be with each other. Spiritual in that we connect intrapersonally to ourselves, interpersonally, and systemically through groups, different groups in our community. We are rational humanists who come together around the needs of community. and we are free to search and reason. But we need to remember that it is because of this freedom that each of us has a responsibility to make this world better for all of us, every single one of us. This kind of freedom requires an imagination of abundance and appreciation. Abundance in that many hands make light work. An appreciation in that each person can serve the greater community in their own way and still express mercy, justice, and compassion. No one is expendable. Each of us matters. Though we may share this faith, we also carry these ideas about exceptionalism and chosenness. We've been known to make a joke or two about us, UUs. But it concerns me, and I wonder if it concerns you. Exceptionalism shows up when people say, "Only I can fix this," or in the chants of, "We're number one, we're number one," and "God is on my side." It's like a license to exclude anybody or use anybody for our own benefit. In his article describing how theologian Walter Brueggemann saw how the ancient world is like today, he's talking about Walter Brueggemann, a Toledo Blade religious editor wrote, "People today pick and choose which covenant to follow, with a conditional one applied to people with whom we disagree. And we who are well off claim the unconditional for ourselves." So this kind of behavior contradicts the value we hold that we are all interconnected, or one of the phrases you may have heard me say, the circle of love embraces all. Perhaps we abdicate our responsibility to be merciful, just, and compassionate when we pick and choose at the shore of difference. Those who are scapegoated, marginalized, and excluded have not had the same choice. We are so very influenced by the roots of Christianity and Unitarian and Universalist Christian imaginations. Psalm 23 shows an example of groups with different power meeting. One has taken another to a different place to be used. Do you know what I mean? Unitarian William Ellery Channing visited the West Indies. He was in seminary, like I was, like I am. Okay. So Channing went to the sugar plantations where people of African heritage were enslaved. And these African people were taken away from their land to be used in another land. There was no appreciation for how they imagined their lives for themselves. In his exploration, William Ellery Channing came upon an enslaved African woman singing. Noticing her working and singing, he asked her, "Why are you so happy?" She responded that she was not happy at all. Howard Thurman said that life can be hard as steel. For the people who have been time after time marginalized and excluded and considered less than acceptable. No one, not I or you, are exceptional or particularly chosen. We all lead particular lives. What could we learn from the particular lives of people that make us uncomfortable? Ask yourself this. Observe your behavior. It takes courage and a willingness to wrestle with class differences, race, gender, sexuality, and so much more. Maturity and integrity are required at the shore of difference. I am not exceptional, and neither are any of us. Rosemary Bray McNatt is saying that we need to do something about how we act when we come upon the shores of difference. None of us is safe, and none of us will survive. And I need all of us to survive. Are you up for the challenge? Now, this is the part where I tell you what to do, or share with you what I have learned about meeting at the shorelines of difference. Do you want to know? Okay, there's a four of your steps right here. Maybe not easy. 1, accept that people are different. That sounds easy enough, right? In addition to the golden rule, do unto others, you got that platinum rule. You know, what is it that people want? What do they want? How do they sustain their lives? We got to get curious, get a little nosy. What is it that sustains and gives meaning to that person, family, or group? We want to understand them based on who they say they are. Can we trust that people know who they are when they say who they are? Be curious, find out why. Let people teach you, be teachable. Learn how people see themselves in the world. Try to hold more than one perspective or possibility in your mind at one time. This might get a little stressful. You might hear some things that upset you. Then what do? Refuse to give in to your anxiety. Instead of getting defensive or angry or thinking that your way is the right and orthodox way, learn how you can manage your emotions. With just 3. Learn to self-regulate. Maybe you can talk to somebody about how you feel. Take a breath, meditate, study the topic that upsets you. Journal, dance, there's a multitude of ways because there's so many of us. That's that abundance, and nobody can do what you do like you do it. Once you have been able to reflect and manage your emotions, you can open to having empathy that leads you to 4, being willing to be changed. This is hard work. This is the work where we feel with someone and their way of understanding what is meaningful to them, and you still can have what is meaningful to you. But this is what being present and affirming someone means. This is the work where we expand our imaginations about theology or what is important and devoting your life energy to it. Are you up for the challenge? I think we all need mercy, justice, and love, compassion. We need to draw the widest circle of mutual relationships because no one is expendable. This work of building mutual relationships, when you do this well across cultures, it can be described as intercultural competence or having cultural humility. If we can devote our lives to this, that includes these 4 actions, maybe we can meet on the shore of difference with affirmation and presence. Our covenantal way of doing religion could help us create a spiritual home that accepts difference and affirms the presence of diversity. We all need mercy, justice, love, and compassion. Does anyone not need that? Because I know I do. I also know, and this is why, because I get it wrong. And you will get it wrong many times. And this is the process. It is a challenge of a lifetime. Currently, we live in a society where systems of exclusion are created to uphold a cultural value of exceptionalism and chosenness, but in reality, we all need each other. We are interdependent. This is a cultural shift in our faith and in the world that has been taking place for quite a while. And we do this 2-step dance where we go backwards and then we go forward. But we need a new way to dance. More open way, to widen our circle with more people. One upon which to found new rituals and intentional ways that allow us to connect and be compassionate and relate interculturally. We keep and appreciate what is working, though. Keep that and throw out the good stuff. It is a process of creating a wider circle because we are better together. We all need mercy, justice, love, and compassion. Just maybe then, in our faith communities, we may be known less for exceptionalism and chosenness, but we'll be known for how we choose to mutually include everyone. Are you up for the challenge? We're now going to have our stewardship moment. Everybody wins if we pledge, sung to He's Got the Whole World in His Hands, words by Colette Cordova.
Rhymes with Florida.
There we go, Cordova, Florida. And David Strickler on guitar.
Yeah, so we decided we're going to do this today instead of giving you a long speech on getting your pledge in. We have about 30% of them in, so we need everyone to get theirs in so the board can do their budget. So we're going to sing this to He's got the whole world in his hands. All right, here we go.
Let's get this right here.
We got the whole church in our hands. We got the whole wide church in our hands. We got the whole church in our hands. We got the whole church if we pledge. We got Sunday morning service in our hands. We got Sunday morning service in our hands. We got Sunday morning service in our hands. We've got the whole church in a pledge. We got our education for the kids. We got our education for the kids. We got our education for the kids. We have our union pledge. We have knits fun, making hats. We have nitwits having fun. Making hats, we have nitwits having fun. Making hats, we'll get more hats if we pledge. We got you and me, you in our hands. We got you and me, you in our hands. We got you and me, you in our hands. We got the you-yous in our hands. Everybody wins if we pledge. Everybody wins if we pledge. Everybody wins if we pledge. We got the whole church if we pledge. Hey, everybody, get your pledge in. Next is the offering. Okay. And next is our time for our offering, our offertory. I believe on the screen, it'll tell you where you can give your donations to the church. You can either go to the website, uutoledo.org, and click on give, and then click on online giving. Or you can send a check into First Unitarian Church at 3205 Glendale Avenue, Toledo, 43614. Or we also have a basket out front, and there's a pledge envelope in front of you in your booths. So, am I next? Yeah. Okay.
We can't get enough of Skylar playing, okay? So we're gonna do that one more time. Seriously, we're gonna do it one more time. Because coming soon, on November, we've got coming soon Spiritual Forum next Sunday at 9:45 a.m. And we've got blanket making craft explained. That's coming soon. We have got Mary Souther is going to be in Fellowship Hall today. And next Sunday's coming services at 11, Transcendentalism Defined, Reverend Dr. T.K. Barger will be here. And on the 20th, that'll be Mary Souther, who will lead us in the simple blanket making craft. On the 27th, Dave Murray will be giving a talk about QPR, which stands for Question, Persuade, Refer. This is a new protocol to prevent suicide that is being adopted by the mental health community. Please join us for that. So I am going to now let Colette read the closing words. And we are going to, and then I will do some things, and then Skylar is going to play for us again.
This is my first time doing this, everybody. All right, closing words. Do not fear by Tanya Marquez. Do not fear agitation, for agitation is the rhythm of life itself, to be put into motion, to be stirred. Do not fear the moments that decenter when you always thought permanent. You carry within the center of your understanding the compass to show you the way. Carry with you the love that will hold you, the vision that will guide you, the relationship to all beings and the world that will ground you. Go in peace and in gentle agitation to stir this world to the side of love. No temas la atención puestos que es el ritmo de la vida misma, ser puesto un movimiento inquietante. No tenemos los movimientos que descentran lo que crees permanente. Llevas dentro el centro de tu entendimiento la brújula que te muestra el camino.
And we're going to send a flame here.
From this ground, let us sow mercy, justice, and compassion. Let us offer our stories, provide our staples of wisdom. And when we do, let us create and experience the presence and affirmation that allow us to connect with our theological imaginations. So the harvest of our faith will be abundant grace.